Here's how you can use Checkbin to easily iterate on failure cases. So for this demo, I'm going to use an AI interior design app. The goal of this app is to take two inputs, an image and a prompt, and then redesign that image in the style of the prompt. To do this, there's 3 steps. First, you segment the image and try to find the furniture. Then you inpaint in the areas where the furniture is to try to create an empty room. Finally, you take that empty room and generate on top of it to try to redesign the room in the style of the prompt. I ran this pipeline with about 20 different examples. Now, I noticed that there's a couple common error failure cases. Particularly in this clean step, there's a lot of situations where the furniture doesn't get successfully removed. Looking at our input image, you can see that some piece of furniture is still there, even though it was identified in the segmentation mask. Let's say I wanted to isolate these failure examples and work on fixing them specifically. Here's how I could do that with Checkbin. I need to scroll through and find a couple of them and select them. I can then create a set from this. Once I've created my set, I can copy that set ID. Now let's jump into the code and I'll show you how I can use this. Before, when I was running this pipeline, I started my run with a JSON file that had a list of my 20 inputs. Now what I'm going to do is call that same function start run with my new set ID. What this is going to do is pull in the inputs that I specifically added to that set, which in this case are my 5 examples where the furniture isn't removed. Then I can run that, and this time only those 5 examples are going to run through. I can use this to easily iterate on my failure cases without having to rerun all the ones that did work. Now if you're actually trying to debug this, let's see what we'd do. So in this case, clearly something's going wrong in our second step where we're trying to remove the furniture. I opened up this inpainting module, and this is what I found. When we're actually doing the cleanup call, which is trying to inpaint and remove the furniture, the negative prompt that they're using doesn't have that many things in it. Specifically, some of these items that we saw not removed, like beds, mattresses, desks, are not in our negative prompt. So I had the immediate idea that I should probably add those things to my negative prompt. I asked ChatGPT to create a bigger list of common furniture items and added them to my negative prompt. Then I ran this again. This time I'm passing in the set ID, so I'm only getting in those failure cases. So that run just completed, and here's what you see in your Checkbin dashboard. You can see the run, which was started just a few minutes ago. This time you'll see that 5 of the 5 tests are completed instead of all 20. If you click View in Grid, you'll get that same grid, except this time it's only those tests from our set. Sure enough, you'll see that my change to add stuff to the negative prompt seems to be working in some cases. Some of these where there was still furniture earlier now appear to be empty. In other cases, it doesn't seem to work as well. So we're not totally out of the woods, but we've made some progress. As you can imagine, that was much faster than the runs where I had to go through all 20. This may not seem like such a big deal if you only have 3 stages and about 20 tests, but if you're working on a more complicated example with hundreds or thousands of tests, this can be a lifesaver. Instead of having to rerun every test every time you make a change to your pipeline, you can only run the specific ones that went wrong. As you iteratively do this for all of your specific failure cases, you work your way towards a pipeline that works for all of your tests. The code for this demo is available open source on GitHub, so head over there if you want to see the specifics of it. And don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to answer any questions you have about Checkbin or even help you integrate it into your own code base. Thanks.